When is enough enough? This is about to be the most intriguing show that you will watch today because you have to hear what Cowboys owner Jerry Jones said recently. I was shocked when I read it, and I'm going to read it to y'all. He said, we should recognize that we had a very bad outing. I get that. And that San Francisco had a very good outing. We should recognize that and call it what it is and not mislead ourselves. But as far as sitting here saying we should completely change the towels here, that's not even in the cards, and it is really ridiculous. Disgusted, I feel, for Cowboys fans. LeSean McCoy. Disgusted, I feel. On the far end, that's James Jones, Super Bowl champ. James, how you feeling, big dog?
Man, I feel good, man. You know what I'm saying?
Is it officially? It is. I'm about to say.
We're close.
It is. It is. I beat you to the punch, but it's fine.
Yes,
Joy Taylor, how are we? How are we?
Did you?
I did.
Actually, I think
Colorado.
I did. Tracy, technically I did. Technically. But y'all, I'm going to get in on the turtleneck season as well. I'm doing great.
And I pulled it out, too, and I had to say, Acho ain't wearing no turtleneck, is he? I had to double check.
It's really still too warm here in LA for turtleneck season, but it's cold in the studio.
2-5, 2 live. Eagles all-time rushing leader. If you leave me hanging, I swear I'll walk off the set. Okay, Shady, when I read this quote as we get to first and 10, I was appalled. Appalled. 2-5, here's what I'm thinking. If you are a Cowboys fan, how much longer will you live like this? If you are a Cowboys fan, how much longer will you tolerate mediocrity? If you are a Cowboys fan, how much longer will you settle with disappointment in your life? I was born and raised in Dallas. So I, on behalf of people that are from Dallas, Dallas natives, am disgusted at Jerry Jones being content with mediocrity. I am disgusted with Jerry Jones' complacency. James, there's a quick anecdotal story I will share, and then I promise I will get off of this. Husband and wife, they were driving around a bend. They were driving around a bend, 2-5. It was early in the morning. Car, it flips. Wife is fighting for her life. Husband, he gets on foot. He traverses. He turns the corner. He sees a doctor's office. He knocks on the doctor's office. Doctor opens up the door. Husband says, sir, I see that you're a doctor. My wife is fighting for his life. Fighting for her life. Can you please operate? The doctor says, sorry, I don't practice anymore. Husband responds, well, either practice or take down the sign. I say that to say, Jerry Jones, either be a general manager or take down the sign. Either improve the Cowboys roster or take down the sign. Either manage generally or take down the sign. Because I can no longer tolerate the Cowboys just sitting here acting like they're really trying to win, but they're not trying to win nothing. Mike and Dak, plus Jerry, have lost to the Niners 3 years in a row. 2 years in a row has cost them their season. This year, it's cost them at least a chance at having that NFC East as it starts the first quarter of the season. NFC East title. So where I am at, Shady, is disgust on behalf of Cowboys fans. Where are you at? Should they be disgusted?
Yeah, they should be very disgusted. Well, I know a lot of Cowboy fans, believe it or not. and every year, it's their year. Every year is like their year. No matter what it is, it's their year. But this year, I believe them a little bit. You know why? Because you look at this roster, we went to camp, and we seen the talent they had. I'm like, yo, when I went to Philadelphia for their camp against the Colts, I talked to A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. I said, bro, that defense is talented. That secondary, they talented. They did that for y'all. So for a Cowboy fan, I'm excited about this year. But then when I really look at everything, it's the same issue every year. It's the same position every year. The Cowboys team won't be as good as it is right now. This is one of the best Cowboys teams put together in a long, long time. And now I look at it like they won't have a chance to really go to an NFC Championship game. Forget the Super Bowl. The NFC Championship game. Because that one position, the quarterback, they will not change it. If I look at the offensive line, they're solid there. Running backs, they're solid there. Wide receivers, they're solid there. Defense, I mean, you already know what's going on over there. The only position that's at question is the quarterback. And if you won't change that, then the Cowboys won't change. I look at a guy like Kellen Moore, hell of an offensive coordinator. People couldn't wait to get him. And they let him go because of why? Because they talked about the picks and throwing the ball too much? No. You have a good quarterback, they want to play for a coach like that, Kellen Moore. Mike McCarthy, they give him all this blame. It's the quarterback. Unless Jerry Jones changes the quarterback, they'll be in the same position for another 30 years with no championships.
You like quotes?
Yes.
When someone shows you who they are,
What are you supposed to do, Joy?
what are you supposed to do?
What are you supposed to do, Joy?
Believe.
Believe. When someone shows you who they are, believe them. No, I'm not disgusted for the Cowboys. Shady, what'd you say? What is it every year?
Same thing.
It's our year.
Boys.
It's our year. We them boys.
That's right.
It is a scientific cycle at this point. We have so much evidence that this is how it's going to go. Why would we be surprised? How could that possibly be a surprising quote from Jerry Jones? Jerry does whatever Jerry wants to do. Yeah. He always has. I will assume at this point he always will. And because he has so much success on the business side of sports, being that the Dallas Cowboys are the biggest brands in all of sports, it's inarguable. Not just in the United States, in the world. I know this will be news to some of you, but there are other countries in the world that also have sporting events and leagues and teams and players. Cowboys bigger than all that. Their brands is the biggest in the whole world when it comes to sports. It's difficult to separate that from the success that you have on the field. When we think of the Cowboys, you have an opinion. You either love the Cowboys or you hate the Cowboys. There's extreme value in that. But to act like this is a surprising or new experience for the Dallas Cowboys, it's not.
But at what point does disgust set in? Because if you are a fan of the Cowboys and you have seen this over and over and over and over, and there is a promise annually of hope. There's a promise. What Jerry does better than anybody, he promises hope. And hope is a masterful elixir.
And when hope is a dangerous thing.
It is. So at what point then, Joy, are you not disgusted if you are a Cowboys fan? Your mom's a Cowboys fan.
She is.
At what point has she not reached the point of disgust?
I mean, every year. But then she's going to watch them again next year. Like, that's what it is. That's what fans are supposed to do. Loyalty, dedication, support, hope. Dreams, aspirations, expectations. That's what fans are there for, and they will do that regardless. Look at some of these teams that have not won championships in the history of their organization, and still every year fans believe that they have a chance. I don't blame fans for being loyal, of course, but why would you expect something different is the question. You can't expect something different.
Kendrick said it best, man. Loyalty, loyalty, loyalty. Kendrick said it best. I'm not disgusted by this by Jerry, right? And Joy, you brought up a good point, right? If they show you who they are, believe them. Coach Mike been there how long?
4 of them.
Right? Back-to-back what? 12-win seasons off of a playoff W. So Coach Mike has shown you that, hey, I can get this thing turned around and win. You know what I mean? Like back-to-back 12-win seasons. Not too many coaches is doing that, right? Dak Prescott. And we can go back and, he's played good football at times. So with Jerry Jones, this right here, and we all been in this situation where you could lose a football game, whether it's college or pro, right? Whatever it may be. You could lose a game badly. You could go through a stretch of losing games. And you come in the building the next morning and your coach done changed some things. Dang, we can't eat in the meetings no more? Why are we changing that little stuff like that? Because we losing. So when you're losing, a lot of this stuff starts to arise. And people start to change stuff that you really don't even need to change right now. Right? And we are talking right now. So with what he's saying right now, I agree with him. There is no need to change the quarterback. There is no need to change the head coach. You lost. You took a bad L. All right? You got a lot of football left to play. Ain't no need to talk and changing the head coach or changing the quarterback
Shady, though,
now.
Here's why I think there has to be a need to change. You have to change. Because you have seen that the obstacle between the Cowboys and a Super Bowl or even an NFC Championship game is the 49ers. And that obstacle, James Jones, it's only growing greater.
Yeah.
So if that obstacle is the 49ers and you're not beating the 49ers and the two biggest contributing factors to winning are head coach and quarterback, something has to give.
Real quick, put your GM cap on. Be Jerry Jones for me real quick. What you gonna do?
I would have
move Dak, and then what you gonna do? Where you moving Dak? Ain't nobody taking Dak right now with his price tag. So where are you moving? What are you gonna do? You tied.
I would at least, though, comment on the aspect of we are always trying to improve our roster at every position. I would say that, 2-5.
But he traded for Trey Lance,
I would let Dak know and let the world know nobody's safe. Everybody's job is up for grabs. Dak is not Mahomes. He's not Josh Allen. Everybody's job is up for grabs. None of this we had a bad outing, but, I'm committed to these guys.
But just look what Jerry did this offseason. And you can say Jerry or Coach Mike. You know you got Trayvon Diggs. You know you're going up against them two beasts in Philly. You go get an all-pro in Gilmore, right? Then you say, you know what? We got two solid receivers. We need some speed. We need another guy that could go. You go get another Pro Bowler in Brandon Cooks. So when you look at what Jerry's trying to do or Mike is trying to do, whoever it is, They trying to improve the roster. Are they using Brandon Cooks the right way? Is it working out? Absolutely not. But they tried to improve the roster to do the right things to go out here and compete.
But that's smoke and mirrors because they went out there and got Brandon Cooks for what? Because it looked good?
I'm with you.
Because I knew they won't use him. Dak ain't trying to throw the ball deep. McCarthy said that. He said, I want to run the ball more. So you want to run the ball more, and you go out there and get a 1,000-yard receiver each year. For what? See, the problem is you talked about all the different additions or different moves they made, which I like it. But the main addition you need to do is get rid of Dak. Find that answer. All these puzzles you're trying to figure out, find that answer to that puzzle. For example, every freaking Dallas Cowboy fan I know, right? Even one of the ones I don't know. I go places, they're like, Shady, you hate on us? Cool, let's talk about it.
Yeah.
I say, what is the one position? You was with me when I did it. What's the one position that you need to change? They be like, Dak. So my thing is, you already know, and if I know and they know, you don't think the owner and the GM knows?
But they don't know.
They know.
No, they don't know.
They know.
I'm telling you.
They know.
They know.
I'm telling you, Jerry said it. The one thing about Jerry gonna tell you what his heart is on his sleeve. Jerry's gonna say what he wants to say regardless of what the repercussions are. Oh, I think it wouldn't be a bad thing to have a quarterback battle last year. So you're not supposed to say that, but Jerry's gonna say what he wants to say. Jerry is committed to them. And no, I don't think that you should fire Mike McCarthy, and I don't think that you can move off of Dak Prescott right now. But what I do know is Jerry is loyal. And that loyalty crosses over into players and coaches and ideas and the commitment to a plan. We've seen it forever with the Cowboys. When I talk about like tinfoil hat conspiracy, it's not just because I'm like, oh, the football gods have cursed Dallas. It's always something. Shady, you're saying it. They have a great roster, right? You would rank this roster top 5 in the NFL easily.
Easy.
Right?
Great roster.
Top 3. Come on.
But
and they got generational talent. Like you'll never get another Michael Parsons like that. Micah again?
And they have great coaching.
Yeah.
Right?
Solid coaching, yeah.
Solid coaching, right? On both sides of the ball. There's always something with the Cowboys.
Real quick.
It is always something. Yeah. And right now, there's no sense of urgency. Jerry said it. We cool. We gonna be fine.
Real quick, because I know Cowboys fans already know you hate. They see you out. They
I don't really hate.
I know, but I'm just saying that's how they view you, right?
Until we talk.
2 weeks ago, right? Me and you had this team as the best team in football, most dominant team. No, hold on, no, the most dominant team in football. 3 weeks later, you just ready to get them out of there? Like, talk to me.
Here's my thought process.
He said, not Mike.
Here's my thought process. I've been around long enough the game of football to understand if somebody's a scapegoat. And if you were paying close attention, Kellen Moore was a scapegoat. After the Cowboys lost to the Niners and Mike McCarthy was like, we want to run the ball more, I'm sitting here thinking to myself, but wait a second. Y'all have been top 10 in rushing every year for the last 4 years.
Right.
You said you wanted to run the ball more, but wait a second. Tony Pollard got hurt in that game. Then you had Zeke, and it was 2 yards in a cloud of dust. So what you want him to do, just keep running at Fred Warner and Greenlaw until they got tired? I said, wait a second. Why are you getting rid of Kellen Moore when he's had 3 number-1 offenses?
Talk to him.
I said, so that math is not mathing. Not to mention, Mike McCarthy, you might want to get rid of Kellen Moore because Kellen Moore is likely going to supersede you once you flame out. So that was my first, like, ding. Okay, now this year, Shady, James, the Cowboys' offense is worse. Wait a second now, Joy. You got rid of Kellen Moore to make the Cowboys' offense better, and the Cowboys' offense is worse. Meanwhile, the Chargers' offense, particularly in the red zone, is better. So that math is also
And the
not
Cowboys are at the bottom of the league in the red zone. That's called cowboy math. You know, there's like girl math and boy math. This is
cowboy math. So then there's that. And then lastly, James Jones, I said, okay, Dak, this is your biggest game of the season thus far. It's a top 3 big game he'll play. He got to play these dudes. He's got to play the Eagles a couple times like that. Those to me are those games. And this is the team you have to beat. There's one team. Before you get to nationals, when you see that opponent you can't beat in district or regionals, you got to beat them. And not only did you lose, you got worse, and Brock has gotten better. That's why I have to not only update my information, but I was walking the balance beam of Dak Prescott, and now I'm off. Now I'm just.
And you see what the Niners did. See, the Niners, they got closer and closer and closer. It wasn't enough. You know what? We got to get a new quarterback. We got to find somebody different. And they found one.
And
they fell into it, but they found one. But the thought process. They tried.
That's why I'm not even tripping on
draft one.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not tripping on the with Trey Lance. They tried. At least, I'll say it like this, and I'm going to go to break. The Browns, who ain't won nothing since 94, hadn't won a playoff game since 94. Do you all really understand? Let this sink in for a moment. The Browns won their first playoff game, and 12 months later, they said, let's get better.
Come on.
They won their first playoff game since '94, and they weren't content. They said, let's get better. The Cowboys, meanwhile, are refusing to say, let's get better. The Browns, it was elation. Yeah. Free beers for everybody. You get a beer, you get a beer, you get a beer. Yeah. And they still said, let's get better. They weren't complacent. Nah. Meanwhile, the Cowboys haven't gone to an NFC Championship games in 28 years, and they're content.
Welcome to the cult. Welcome.
Come on, Dak. I keep on saying, come on, Dak.
Come
on, Dak.
Oh, man.
Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak, and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.